There
Uh,
we go. We're on now. We're live.
Hey,
What's
how's
going
it
on,
going?
man?
Yeah, thanks for
How you
having
doing
me.
today? Of
Doing well.
course.
Just working
Thanks for
hard.
coming on. How was the day today?
Good, good. Pretty busy. Had
What'd you
to do
get in?
my office. I'm going through a little bit of a change in the office right now. So my office manager, I'm getting a new office manager. So in the middle of that change, so that makes it a little bit more. I'm in front as well as clinically. So
Oh man, yeah. That's so you're. Oh man, you're in front currently. Just people that don't know. I mean, your office manager in a way runs the show because
yeah,
guys, this is Dr. Alex Einbinder, and you are in West Babylon at Grace Dental Smiles. Now, just really quickly, the office manager is kind of who runs the show while you're in the procedures all day long.
yes, that's how it ideally would be in a well functioning office. So right now we're changing, and I'm getting a new office manager actually starting tomorrow. But so I did some front desk, but I actually like, the business side. So I like learning the ins and outs of the office. So when I want to, do more offices, I really know like everything and I know what's getting missed.
Yeah.
But ideally, I would be, doing surgery all day. So
What's
like you.
what yeah. That's right. We talked about that at dinner.
Yeah.
What but yeah, tell me. You're saying so what are some of your favorite parts of the ins and outs of the business? Now that we're into that.
So I mean, like I like to be efficient and just, learn new ways to like fill the schedule and stuff. That's always a thing with like cancellations and just constantly dealing with people is difficult, And having a good like front desk, I realize how like that's so crucial to like the
Yeah.
office because if they're not scheduling and they're not booking, your schedule, then you're just like sitting there. So like if I could learn that, I could like make sure that the office manager knows what they're doing when I'm like doing more of the business aspect because that's my plan to replicate what I have now. I have a good business model, I feel like, and go do that in other locations.
Yeah, yeah. And you said the new office manager starts tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
perfect timing.
today was crazy busy because I'm like still doing work in the back, but also helping up front because we're short on staff right now.
Oh man,
But
that really kind of sticks a wrench in it. Or do you when you look for an office manager, I never thought you probably want someone who's experienced with running an office before.
yes, of course, yeah. I mean, basically, like, I want it so that I'm not up front at all. That I'm just doing clinical, of course, because that's where we do our
Yeah.
best.
Room to room to room, right?
Yeah. If I do want to, start a bigger company and, buy other offices, it is nice to know, hey, like I do understand how insurance works. So I could like, help out and like oversee everything to some extent. But yeah, you need somebody who could run an office without you and doesn't need to ask you like every little question and stuff. So
Right. Did you find someone who has the
I think so.
experience?
So we'll find out. Yeah.
True, true. We'll find
But,
out. Yeah, man. Hey, we got a bunch of topics we're gonna touch
yeah.
on through this that I'm excited on. Do you know? Have you thought about where you wanted to start with it, or do you want to go into your dental
Up to
school
you.
background, or what's on the tip of your tongue? What are you interested
Yeah,
in
I
learning?
mean, we could start with that. So, like as I was telling you, long story short, because there's obviously a big story to it, but I was essentially thrown out of dental school in fourth year. So you could imagine like what's the worst thing that could happen to you in dental school? Literally that.
Yeah,
So that kind of like helped teach me obviously a lot of lessons, but when it first happened, I'm like super depressed, obviously. Like everything I ever worked for is to get through dental school, right? And then to have it all just like shattered, right? Like in at the end of it, in debt, all this crazy stuff, and just like my classmates, like some of them literally like made fun of me during it. So like, but it all comes back to like, I feel like I've become who I am now. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have been successful in dentistry if I didn't go through this, I feel like, because it's made me like so much stronger now. Like I could go through whatever and like it's okay. So right, it kind of ties into running an office because like, hey, let's say like half my staff calls off one day. I'm like, oh, it's just another day, no big deal. So basically, yeah. So I'm like depressed and I'm at home and I'm just like moving back at home and like literally went back to like lifeguarding that summer. So like dentists, my peers are dentists and I'm like a lifeguard. Like it's just crazy. And I'm super depressed and I'm replaying everything in my head, like what happened in dental school. Like I pissed off the wrong people, the higher ups and whatnot, and it all like just like made some mistakes, obviously, but we're human. And I'm replaying it in my head, like what could I have said better or done differently? And then I just started reading like these self-improvement books. And all of a sudden it started to like click, but it didn't really click. But what I realized was at some point, like you have to like stop thinking about the past, you learn from it, but you have to be forward looking. Like that's why I say now, like fall forward. And yeah, so but now I'm writing a book about it. But basically, it was a big mindset shift where I'm like, enough about the past. It's time to focus on like how do I better myself every day to become a better person moving forward, and what do I need to do to finish what I started, or if I go down another path, how do I become a better person? And so that basically started this big mindset shift that everything that happens to me, I need to turn it into a good thing and become stronger from it. And so I definitely say that a lot of my success comes from my past failures. So
Oh, for sure. That's a big hurdle that you have to get over. Can you get any insight into what happened in you? I mean, you were about to graduate when this
yeah,
happened.
so
Oh
I
no.
went away on this externship. We have to do like this. I think it was like a 2 month or 6 week externship, and basically they came down really hard on me. They failed me on the externship. I think it was a lot of like miscommunication stuff, but he said, she said, whatever.
Yeah.
But I already had previous issues that I had gone through in dental school, like relating to like some like infection control stuff that I wasn't doing correctly, and it just kind of looked like I kind of took everything for granted. I was like, yeah, I'm in dental school, like, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I pissed off the wrong people, and obviously had some issues. And I remember I slept in for a remediation meeting. My phone was literally, I never knew this until now. I never make this mistake, but I set my alarm on my phone, but my phone was on silent. So the alarm went off, but the phone was on silent. So I missed something important, and it was just one thing after another, and I just built a track record for myself. And I don't think I deserved it, but it's what happened. So I'm like, it happened. I can't go back. We don't have time travel yet, so I can't go back and fix the problem because it already happened. But I could fix moving forward. Like, how do I become better from this? So that's kind of my story, and I attribute a lot of success that I've had today to being able to deal with challenges now.
Absolutely. And now, I mean, you're a practice owner. I mean, it doesn't go much
Yeah.
higher than that. This is the epitome of at least autonomy, right? You get to make your schedule. You get to make the hours that you work. It's your team. You got to hire that office manager, and you
Right.
got to move on from a previous office manager if they, were underperforming and were kind of delivering on what you were looking for. So, I mean, I think that's the apex of the end goal of what it
Yeah.
was. Do you looking back in hindsight, if you think about it, when you were lifeguarding, that's funny. I'm
Yeah.
on the same page there. I used to lifeguard a little bit in dental school too, even for like 8 years. But
Nice.
when you were sitting there on the lifeguard stand, did you ever think of looking forward? And this is after being removed from that dental school, thinking you'd be a practice owner one day.
I mean, I definitely like still knew that I would be successful at whatever I did. I didn't know for sure that I was going to get given a second shot by a dental school that, it wasn't easy, but I was applying to like all these schools, and, one did give me a chance, and, like it special place in my heart. But, I always thought I would figure it out, like that's what, and I just like, I'm like sitting there like depressed for weeks, and then like I'm just like I need to work, like I need to do something. Like so like I'm still going to the gym. Like it took a month, but then I just like got back into my rhythm. I'm just like I have to do something. I can't just like be depressed forever. And it just like thinking about the past is like not good to an extent. Like you learn from it, but then you need to like be present and think about your future. So I didn't even know if I would get back in, but yeah, it was a tough feeling because I know like a lot of my friends are like they're posting on social media, and I literally like they're dentists, like
Mm.
they're owning offices or they're working as associates, and but at the same token, like I just learned so much from this experience, and I always thought that if I did become a dentist, I would become a practice owner because that's always what I wanted to do. So
Yeah, yeah, and you did it.
yeah,
I mean, you gotta be proud from that extent. So I'll tell you a story that's similarly with residency, different. I wasn't like expelled or thrown out or anything, but it was I was put on a week long paid leave of absence, and there were people saying rumors like suspended and stuff, but it kind of felt like it because I wasn't told if I was going to be coming back, but I was paid through it. But the program deleted all my hospital emails. So, and I'm sure you remember what that's like if they did that for you too. When you delete your hospital emails and then you go back to work, it's not like they just turn it back on again. Then you have to make all these phone calls on top of all your working. No one helps you through it all. When you're sitting at home that week, all right, so here was my story. I was documenting through residency and stuff, and someone actually in the program seems to be like it was actually an attending who did it, but it might have been a resident. It seems like it was more of an attending. And they thought that I was putting up like inappropriate content talking about like patient care and this and that. And the GME office of NYU did a whole investigation, a week long and everything. And they found one post that they wanted me to take down. I was talking about, there was all these videos on TikTok doing a trend of subway surfing where the kids 14 like these teens are going up on the top of subways as if this is a good idea so they can get views on TikTok.
Heard of that? Yeah.
And so we actually had I was on trauma that month, and there were kids in the ICU that were literally subway surfing and fell off and got run over in one way or another. And we're in the ICU, and I'm like, so I was like, look, this is what I'm seeing on trauma. Like, kids, if you're listening to this, don't subway surf. Like, it's just so simple, right?
Yeah.
It's a good message, right? Anyway, that was the one thing because they were like, yeah, well, you said this age, and when you Google that, it shows these articles, and is that your patient? And now they're like infringing on HIPAA stuff. And
HIPAA, yeah.
Oh my God. They set me up with we're just going to have a quick chat when you get back from your break with the GME office. They want to go over, the website, social media page. And it was this 25 question attorney questioning me. And I'm like, whoa, what's anyway. So, I had to come back. I had to give a lecture and a presentation to the program without telling them why I was giving them a lecture presentation on HIPAA compliance and social media. And I had to, submit essays, and it was a whole big thing. But anyway, back to how it relates to yours is that you're sitting there at home. And exactly. You're sitting there at home, like full of anxiety. You're not given any communication. Like, are you going to come back? What's the next step? Are you going to get into another school? Am I going to go back to residency? And it's just heartless. You're in a heartless situation, and it's really frustrating. But I think learning through moments like that, like you were saying, are super important, super crucial. And then at the end of the day, as we can both look back in hindsight, it's like, I'm glad we learned from that. It also didn't have to go that way.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's like, thank goodness we persevered. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We could just sit on our ass and sulk, and we could go back to lifeguard. I love lifeguarding, but not for like a 30-year career.
Yeah.
Anyway, damn man, dude. So Long Island. Where are you from on Long Island again? Where'd you grow up?
Easier than dentistry though. So I first South Shore. I was in Baldwin. Then we moved to Great Neck when I was like 13. So I graduated from Great Neck. Went to Binghamton and then dental school.
I wanted to throw that out here too because this is going to be the next episode on Long Island Dentist Podcast. So
so you're in Smithtown, right?
Yeah. I'm in Smithtown, and obviously we all count the oral surgery. I'm in Melville, and you're it's right down the block for you in Babylon.
I just referred somebody to you today.
Oh, did you? Oh, sweet.
But I won't say who for HIPAA.
Of course. Yeah, we can't do that. But Dr. Brar and I, we enjoy getting. We got to get dinner again soon. Now that my exam's over with. But
we're 25 minutes away, so.
Yeah, it's like nothing. Wait, 25 minutes from.
Actually, Melville's like 15 minutes from me.
I was gonna say, yeah. We're like super close.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Dr. Chavkin, by the way?
That's the owner, right?
Yeah.
No, I haven't met him yet.
Okay, we'll set that up.
Yeah. Next month.
Actually, I think this Thursday I'll have to send you the information. I don't mean to, but this Thursday he's doing a presentation on. I forget what the subject is, but I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Okay.
But yeah, man. So, dude, we have so much to talk about. Do you want to go into Bitcoin next, or?
Yeah, we can do Bitcoin next. And I was also going to say one other thing is like about like after dental school is that I was. What I thought I had everything like figured out. I'm like, okay, I got back in. Now I graduated, but that was just like I thought all my problems are solved. I did it. Like I finished dental school, But then like more problems started because I had trouble. Like I felt like I was behind 4 years, and how would I catch up? So I was like, working in like a Medicaid office in Chicago, and just like, it was difficult. But like I kind of was just doing like fillings and crowns and like the stuff like I didn't want to be doing. So I kind of had to like reset and be like, I'm not the dentist who's 4 years behind. I want to become an implant dentist. I want to become like one of the best implant dentists in the world. So like that also took time. That took like a year and a half till 2 years till I actually figured that out. Started, investing in implant courses. And that's another, it's like you're already behind 4 years, and now you're putting like, $50,000-$60,000 into these expensive implant courses. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy, but I still dedicate it like to like, being able to overcome these challenges. Like that's what made me, become like, the dentist I am today. Cause I might not have ever gotten into implants if I didn't, change that thought process. Is like, I was just like felt like I was just a regular dentist who was behind. And then I had to say, I want to be the best dentist in the world. Like, how do you like, you got to like tell yourself and really truly believe it before you could like actually start taking these
Right.
risks, cause
And did you have to repeat all 4 years of dental school? Or did you get to
three.
start
So I
three?
took a year off, and then I started in second year, basically in the summer of second year. So
Okay.
it's pretty crazy story. I've heard some other stories like that, but it's pretty rare. Yeah, I would say I'm like one in thousands.
Probably more. Yeah.
Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so you had to do 3 more years of dental school after that. At least you were back in though, and then it probably was it smooth sailing, or was it completely new fresh start?
The second time was definitely easier. It wasn't. It was still dental school, which is like ridiculously hard, as you know. But
Yeah.
it was definitely easier than the first go around. Yeah, I mean, like I knew how to prep a tooth at that point, and I
Okay.
knew,
That's good.
I had already taken most of the courses, but
And then
still,
so
like,
right after
still
that, yeah. I was going to say right after graduating, did you do a residency? Did you go? You said Michigan,
Chicago. No, I was
Chicago.
going to do a residency, but that's so for New York, I could work somewhere else for 2 years.
Hmm.
So I chose not to do the residency. I worked in a busy office. I got a lot of reps in, and that's when I just started getting into extractions, and that's what I like to do. And then I'm like, I need to do implants, and then worked for Affordable Dentures for like 2.5 years, and then I did something really interesting where I was temping. So I
Mm.
was temping for like a lot of DSOs, and I'd come into these offices for like 2-3 weeks, or like you'd sign a little like contract. But I'm going into offices that are like in shambles because they don't have a dentist. So I'm just covering. And but you get to see a lot of things, like what does this DSO do really well, and what does this DSO do? Like
Mm.
how do they sell treatment plans better? So I got to see a lot of different like perspectives from that side of it, and then I apply that to my office. Like
Yeah.
so.
Where when you, so those 2 years were in Chicago. Why'd you pick Chicago after dental school?
Um, I just thought, it's a big city. It was in the Midwest. I had finished dental school in Nebraska, so I was like, I didn't mind the Midwest. I knew like I started to feel like I didn't really fit in the Midwest, so I came back to New York for like long term. But it just was the next big city that was near there, and I still was like wanted to like be in a bigger city, not be like in the suburbs. But
And are you? I mean, how long have you been back since then? Right?
yeah, no, I've been back in New York since like 2021, so like almost, yeah, like 5 years
Five
now.
years. Five
Yeah.
years. And how you like it now? You're back in the hometown. You're back on Strong Island.
It went by quick. Yeah, yeah. No, I like Long Island. I wanted to like be in the city, but it's just too much there. Like I'm not a city person.
Mm.
I like the outdoors, and I like to be able to like get in my car and drive. So
Yeah.
probably similar to you, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The
Yeah.
city, now we can all agree the city's good for some time or another, right? But then, I mean, Long Island's great. We got the city that way. We got the
Right.
Hamptons and the beaches got that way, and we got this. We got a great set of vineyards on Long Island, breweries. There is
Yeah.
really so much to do here. So I totally agree.
Yeah. I'm a big beach person, so I chose that.
Are you South Shore? Where do you live?
Yeah. Right now I live in Amityville, but I was in Lindenhurst for a while, so I just was near West Babylon. But
Yeah.
that's yeah. So I'm like 15 minutes from the beach, so I go like all the time in the summer,
Oh, that's nice.
and now too sometimes. So
Even now, really?
yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, I also scuba dive and stuff, so I do a lot. I surf in the summer.
That's the perfect place to do it. Oh
Yeah.
man, and when did you learn how to scuba dive? I remember you mentioning this.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, it's been like over 10 years I've been doing it for now.
Oh man,
So
10 years. Was that dental school or
I
where?
actually did it in my second, yeah, the beginning of my second dental school. I was taking like night classes. I was always a big swimmer, so I was like, I got to get this certification. And
Yeah.
we did like our checkout dives in the lake,
When was the last time you went?
like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, actually. I was in Thailand, the trip that I went to.
Oh, it was in Thailand then you got to. I was going to say it's freezing out here. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
way
Here
you went out.
you got to have your ice certificate right now.
It's
Yeah,
so cold.
the lakes are frozen. I'm ice skating here now.
Yeah, yeah. How'd you like Thailand?
It was awesome. Yeah, much warmer and it's very different. Like
Mhm.
the food's not as good for me, but like it's super fun to like see a whole nother culture, a whole nother side of the world, and it's beautiful too. Like
I
the
heard it's
islands, there's islands everywhere. Yeah, you take a boat,
and
much cheaper.
affordable too. I heard everything's so much
Yeah,
more affordable there.
yeah. I got a haircut there, and it was like $10, but it was the equivalent of like $100 haircut here. Like it was, he took his time. Like it was like a barber shop. It was, yeah, it's like it's much better pricing.
Well, and so, oh, and back to so Chicago for 2 years. That was one office. When did you start temping at DSOs? Was that here back on Long Island? Was that
So
before?
there was Chicago for two, and then there was another like 2 years at Affordable Dentures, or maybe it was a year and a half ish.
Yeah.
Then it was a few like maybe a half a year, 9 months of temping, and then I came back to New York, did a implant only job for like about a year, and then in the middle of that, I bought my office. So
For about a year, do implant only. How did you?
yeah,
Where did you find that? Where was that?
that was Contemporary Dental Implant Center.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was an interesting experience too. Actually, like that. Basically, how that office works is like
Hmm.
they had multiple offices, but the previous dentists who worked there, they'd go from each office just once. The office is like open like once or twice a week, so you're just going in and seeing all the patients in one day.
Wow.
So that's kind of their business model. But at the time I came in, they were trying to cut back and like make it more of like a normal office. But so that was a very interesting experience with weird stuff that happened too. But it's all for the better. Yeah, that's where I really like got good at single implants because with affordable dentures, I was doing like over dentures all day. Then I started to get into like the fixed, all on four. But
Yeah.
then I went to this other job and I was doing like 95% just like single or bridges implants. So
You had such a great experience
it
between
was
all
great.
these different directions. You know what I mean? Which was honestly, which one
Yeah.
do you think was your favorite, and which one did you learn the most from? Maybe those were two separate.
The best was definitely, I mean, I'm not pushing any DSO, but affordable dentures was the best experience overall because, first of all, it was easy. Like, once you get good at extractions, you're just doing the extractions. And then for the most part, like the assistants and you have your own lab there, like, they're so good at it. So, like, you just need to, like, take impressions and, like, you're done. Like, your job is done. Like, they just take it from there. They make the dentures, you put it in, your assistants help adjust it. And, like, I just feel like it was just like not only was it easy, but it was also fun and rewarding.
Mm.
It's easy when you get good at it, basically, because you're doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
then
do you do a lot of that day to day now?
now I'm doing a lot more single implants. I want to get back into like all on four, and I do some overdentures here and there. I'll do a all on four, but I'm not
Yeah.
like my office because I also have associates. We do general dentistry. Like we're doing everything.
Everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The only thing we're really referring out is like the IV sedation cases and retreat endos or like really difficult endo.
Right, right.
But me personally, I like surgery, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. And we talk the same language in
Me
that.
too.
I got another question for you then though. What was the worst experience that you had?
I mean, the worst experience would probably be the job after the Medicaid office in Chicago. I was just doing like fillings all day. And that's when I
Mm.
like looked myself in the mirror. I was like, this is not what I want to be doing for the next 10 years, you know?
You
It,
said that that was after the Medicaid office, or that
yeah.
was
There was
before?
like an in-between time in Chicago where I had another job for like a few months.
Yeah.
And then I went to affordable dentures because I was just like, I wanted to just get out of that and just like kind of, that's when I left that, I just gave up general dentistry for, 2 years or so,
Mm.
which was great. That's why I say affordable dentures was the best because like you don't have to you're not doing any general dentistry really. Very rare. Like I might do some fillings just to help the patient out, but
Yeah.
It was just dentures and implants.
Huh. Just dentures and implants. And now,
Yeah.
here's a quick, because if it's affordable dentures,
Affordable, yeah.
how is it? Because I mean, implants and many dentures are expensive. How do they put that together?
Well, they're such a big DSO,
Hmm.
so they're buying the implants for like a third, a fraction of the price. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
yeah,
it's actually a third.
cholesterol.
It's like like 30%, 40% of what other. Yeah, so they're buying in such bulk. So yeah, the implants they're pretty affordable. I mean, I wouldn't say it was cheap, but it was compared to a private office or an oral surgery office. Yeah,
Wow, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, they're buying in bulk like Costco. Yeah, you need a lot of practices to do that. So really, only the DSOs and the large organizations can do that. Yeah.
And the lab is in house, so they're saving money on that too because to make dentures is actually doesn't cost a lot of money. The materials, and if you're not sending it out to a lab, you're not paying a premium. You have a good lab tech, and then there was the person who poured it up, and they had a good system.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's all about systems. Like that's what I'm trying to get to, where my office could run without me. So I
Mm.
could go do another one but yeah, that's the hard part is putting in the systems in place in your office where everything could be taken care of and run smoothly without you.
So tell me about this system then. What's the next step? Obviously, you need to get an office manager up to pace, making sure that they can do that. And technically, you could be removed. The office manager runs everything, right?
Yeah, and I think all the other hard part is associates.
Hmm.
Like some of them want to work hard, but other of them, they just want to work and just
Hmm.
go home early. So you have to have people like buy into your, vision. And that's something in business that I feel like I think I've struggled in that communication and like selling my vision. I think that being like business, I'm good at. I always thought, like, oh, I'm good at business, I'm going to be fine. And they say dental school doesn't teach you business. I would say dental school doesn't teach you leadership because leadership's more important. Like that's how you run a business. Being a good leader, that's what I'm realizing.
What are your thoughts? I 100% agree. I've been thinking so much about how our educational system, whether it's dental school, other schools, or everything, they're not instilling enough leadership skills. These are
Right.
fundamental skills, teamwork. What are your top traits within leadership? Because you have that at the ceiling, right? What would you say that you are noticing is crucial as far as putting an office together, getting a good system, getting a team together, run
So
by leadership?
yeah, the two things that stand out to me is communication and accountability. This
Mm,
actually goes back to my original dental school story because my communication sucked. So
uh-huh.
now I try to be real clear about like, hey, like, and this is something I'm working on too. It's like, this is the job duties and like, this is what I expect. And then accountability. In 2 weeks, are you still doing what you need to do? Because I don't care if like how we do it, but we need to like get the job done every day, get out on time, and treating the patients well and all that. And that doesn't happen. Like I could tell them what to do or like we could run it smoothly for a week or two, but then like things start to fall apart. Like, why aren't we doing this anymore? Or everybody gets an appointment before they leave, that kind of thing. Sometimes they just like forget stuff. So you have to hold them accountable. So you have to like put in the effort to like, you know,
Yeah.
oversee everything. And yeah, I thought like business ownership, like owning a dental office was for everybody. It's the best move. But now actually owning an office, I'm like, I see why some dentists just want to stay associates. And I think in a lot of cases, especially with like oral surgery, like
Hmm.
you could probably do better financially not owning an office and just bouncing around from office to office like a lot of oral surgeons in New York do.
Hmm.
Um, I think that, or working for a big company that could really pack your schedule rather than having to deal with all the hassles of being a business owner. I think business ownership is better for like when you retire, you could sell the business. That's a big plus. But
Hmm.
in terms of just like, I think it's just not for everybody, I would say. And even
Yeah. Yeah.
myself, I'm like, oh, I wish I was an associate right now when like the schedule falls apart. You're just like, I wish I was an associate because I would be getting, a daily guarantee because
Yeah.
you have to pay yourself last. Everybody else has to you have to pay everybody else before. Whereas,
Great points.
yeah,
But then when it comes to autonomy, you hold the magic.
that's the big one. Yeah. Yeah. So freedom. Yeah. I'm sure like, because you want to buy an office eventually, right?
Yeah, or be a partner. I would love to be a partner of at all county.
Yeah,
It's but obviously that's up to the boss, right? But yeah, that's my dream. To that ultimate autonomy, I think is crucial. But
I
yeah,
can't hear
tell me
you
more
anymore.
about that. There we go. How's that now?
Okay, better, better. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What the heck just happened? It said disconnected from it. That's literally never happened. That's so weird. But yeah, I was just saying that.
My
Yeah,
luck.
my dream goal is to buy into the practice. That's and Dr. Chafkin knows that. That would be, to buy into the multi. I mean, that would be a dream come true. But yeah, because I think that autonomy. I completely agree with you. But the autonomy is good, but you also have to. You were saying the associates. The first thing that came to mind is that associate, like you were saying, they could just want to work the whole day and leave, or work the whole day and be invested in that same vision that you have. How do you instill the vision and that you have? The same goals in your with your team.
So I think the only way to really do that for an associate is probably give them a cut of equity, actually. Like what you just said, bring them on as like an equity partner so that they share in the profits, let them
Mm,
buy into it. But, just getting along with them and like telling them, this is what I expect here. And, I expect that, if somebody needs same day dentistry and your other patient cancels, that you're going to knock out a few fillings or, do, like work hard, that's because,
mm,
you're here and that's just what I expect because I'm the owner. But, I think that's because I've went through some associates and some of them, you could tell the different ones. Like it only takes like a few days where like they want to work hard. They want to
yeah.
be, and I think I even like, because I know I was an associate too. And I was like, on the days where it wasn't busy, why would I work a little bit harder, right? Like, why? I'm just like, oh, I'll just get out early.
Mm,
I don't own the office, But I felt like that actually was like building bad habits for me because that's like laziness, It's like do your best at whatever job you do is like actually, I think actually builds into like when you do become an owner, you're going to work harder or like be more invested in it. So
yeah.
there were times, yeah, I see the difference. Like I understand that angle that they're coming from, but
Yeah. Now you don't have to reveal anything to me. Could you see potentially in your or one of your associates? Is that a plan that you would instill? If you see someone that's really a go getter, there to work hard, contributing, always taking the next, always adding filling the schedule packed, but always doing the next thing when they can. Do you think you'd consider giving them equity in that practice? Is that something
yeah,
you thought?
definitely. Because that would allow me to, leave more, be more days off. Because there were times I had my office running where like I could be away for a week or two.
Mm,
But there's times where like if I go away for 2 weeks, I know I'm just going to come back to a mess.
mm.
So, but I would like that's my goal. That's my next goal. That's my next like challenge. Get it to the point where like, hey, I could just come in 1 or 2 days a week, and if I had another office, I go there 1 or 2 days a week, just do implants or wisdom teeth or whatever, kind of like a mini oral surgeon,
Mm.
and that's where I think I could be absolutely most effective at this point.
Doing that, to going to a couple practices, and you could trust them with that. The other day, that's what my boss does. He does a
Right.
couple days here, a couple days there, and like I think three different offices. It's a
Yeah.
great strategy to get to, and I agree with you. I think that equity, that's the ultimate
Yeah.
accountability where they have to be held, because now they are part owners in that office too.
Right.
So if it's going to be a mess, that's literally their image. This is your office that we share together. I think that's a really good plan. I mean, I don't think there's anything better than that,
Yeah.
you know.
And that.
But
Yeah.
but coming back to the ownership, remember we were talking about a dinner with something with the roof in your practice, the
Oh, the
ceiling.
roof leak. Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck? What happened with it? Because you're not the owner of the property, the building,
Right.
but didn't they just dump all that fees and the fixing and the payments on you?
Yeah, they're saying that like I need to replace the roof, but that's obviously like structural. So I'm in like a argument with the landlord. But it's yeah, like owning an office, like that's going to be difficult. There's going to be problems, but like then you're just like you didn't know it was going to be this much. But at the same time, yeah, like that freedom to just hey guys, I'm going away like the first week of March, whatever. I could just say that, and what are they going to say? Like
Yeah.
so that's nice too. Yeah,
Are you
like I
going
could
away the
definitely
first
do
week of
that.
March?
No, no, I'm not definitely
Okay.
not right now. But I couldn't do that at Affordable Dentures. Like they wanted our vacation, like almost a year in advance. You know, like they wanted that, but like, yeah. And then they're like, you can't take more than a week. They wanted us to, what I would want is like the best, like take, a day here around Thanksgiving, take a day around Christmas, like those kind of things, take a
Yeah.
day around New Year's, that's what they want. But yeah, it's like now I could just take like whatever time I want off, or I need to leave early to do something, so I do, that autonomy is like priceless.
It's priceless. That's why it's so much more responsibility. There's so much more on your shoulders. But
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that autonomy is priceless. Like you said, if you need to leave early or something, if you want to do a 2 week trip to Thailand, or like you can do that. Do you think for your associates though? Do you think you would hold them to a similar request that Affordable Dentures had?
No, actually, one of them is away for like 3 weeks right now. So
3 weeks.
yeah. But I have the other one doing more days. So it's, yeah, you kind of have to like balance stuff out. And
Right.
I've been working more to like make up for the lost time. I just feel like, I went away for 2 weeks, so I need to like come back and work more.
If say before the 2 weeks, or and how many days a week are you working now? How many was it before the break? What's your average? Like, what's the sweet spot?
I
You know what I
was
mean?
actually working 3.5 days at one point. Now I'm back to like five, but
Yeah.
I would say my sweet spot would be like 4 days, because I don't mind like big, long 10, 11 hour days. Like, how, like, are your days pretty long too?
Today was 9 to 5. We finished a little bit after.
That's not bad.
But
But yeah, I don't mind like when I'm there, I tell them like, I want to be busy,
yeah,
because I'd rather do everything I could do in 5 days. I'd rather do that in three if I can, it's like, why not?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I agree. That one day, so say 4 is the sweet spot. Which day of the week are you taking off?
I would take Friday off, long week.
Friday. Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the
Interesting.
most weekend like day, I would say. So
Yeah, yeah, it is. I've always thought maybe Monday though, because I mean the Friday vibes in the office are pretty awesome, but
pretty good.
no one's happy in the office on Mondays. No one's like excited on the. So I would take Monday off to work Friday.
Monday's a good day too to get stuff done. That would be my second option.
Yeah, nice little long weekend. Yeah, that would be sweet. Work Tuesday through Thursday, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
You want to talk about a little Bitcoin
so
drop?
Bitcoin now, yes.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you been stocking up? While we got a huge discount.
Yeah. Yep. Just went down like whatever that is, like 25, 30%. So it's always kind of like the same. I say like we've seen this movie before. That's like my line
Hmm.
with my friend, because like I was looking at Bitcoin when it went from like, 21,000 to 3,000. I also saw it when it went from like 900 to like, I think it went up to like $90. Like I've seen it go down like 80, 90%. So people always freak out, but like if you do like look at the long term, Bitcoin's obviously, it's beaten everything, like S&P 500, real estate, obviously the dollar. So I think of Bitcoin as like, for me, it's like digital gold or hedge for inflation. That's like the simplest way to put it. I feel like a lot of dentists are not really into Bitcoin. Some are.
True.
Some
Yeah.
of the more techie ones are, but most like medicals, I feel like the last to adapt or adopt. Sorry, but
Yeah, I agree. No, I was so glad that we just randomly started
yeah,
talking
it's
about
fun.
it when we were at dinner, because it's true. So few dentists are in. There are a lot that are like heavy. They're all in on it,
Yeah,
and there are a lot just they're like, what is Bitcoin? You're like, what do you mean you don't know what Bitcoin is?
yeah.
But when did you? So you said were you were watching Bitcoin. When is that? $90? How
20,
long ago?
2013. Yeah.
Did you buy back then?
So I remember I was with a friend. It was actually that in between year, and he told me about it. He's like, hey, like there's this new money. It's called Bitcoin. It's digital. So I go on, and like there was only like one exchange back then, but you had to like wire the money and Western Union it and then send it through another account. So it was super weird. We're trying to
Mhm.
do it. We couldn't figure it out. And then I remember it went from like, I think it was 900 at the time, but I looked at it like a few hours later, and it went down like one of those drops, like 60, 70%. It was down to like a few $100. And I was like, all right, forget this. And then I just like remember like opening my phone again like a few years later, and I'm like, oh crap, it's like $2,000 now. Like, holy crap, like why didn't I do that? So that was that. And then, but when I really actually like pulled the trigger was 2016, I think, before it like ran up to like 7,000. But then I bought most of it around like 6, 7,000,
Mm.
and it dropped again. And then whatever went to 21,000.
Yep.
I was buying up there in 21,000. And then I remember my friend owed me like some money. He sent me Bitcoin when it was 21,000, and then like the next day, it went down to 3,000 like 2 days later. Like, so like I've seen all this, but it was like funny. I'm just like, yeah, just my luck. Like
Were you selling it when it made those drops though? Hopefully you just
I
held.
used to, I used to like freak out and sell it. Now I just hold it because I'm thinking like when you think in decades, you don't care about like a bad debt. You actually like
Right.
buy. Like now's the time to buy. Like and long term we'll see that because I feel like if we fast forward 5 years and Bitcoin's like $300,000, it's probably going to tank to like $150,000 one day
Yep.
or like over the course of like some random week in whatever.
Yep.
So, but the new people who are getting into it now, or who got into it just at 126,000 when it hit the top, or like buying at over 100,000 with all the hype, they're now freaking out and selling, and that's what causes like that cascade.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, some people are using leverage, which causes more of a cascade. So that's just what it is, you know. Like a few big players sell, and then all the retail people sell, and then everybody's freaking out right now. And it's always like a new like thing, like oh now it's like quantum computing and
Mm.
whatever else it is. Epstein files are out, and they're saying he created Bitcoin or something. But like last 2 years ago, it was something else, you know.
It's something else, yeah.
It
Like,
was
oh, is it Elon Musk? Yeah, yeah. Every couple of years, it's always something. Every
yeah,
2 years, 2 to 4 years.
yeah,
But you specifically, you longer than me, you've had the experience of actually literally looking at Bitcoin for over a decade now. So
yeah.
these big fluctuations, you're just like, oh, this is a discount. I'm gonna go buy a couple thousand more today.
It still hurts. Like when I see my account drop like 25% in a week, you're just like, oh, I wish I did real estate. I wish I had like just put it all in a gold or some like Apple or Amazon, whatever. But again, yeah, like long term, like I mean, I first saw it, it was like a few $100, and it's like
Yeah,
I wish I'd put it all back then, right? Like, and in 10 years, I'm gonna wish I put a lot more right now.
right
So
now.
yeah, like
That's
as we
exactly what I'm
speak,
doing.
like, I should be buying it, right? So like, but I just think like instead of like a lot of like dentists have a lot of cash in their bank account,
Mm,
especially like doing full arch and whatnot. It's just sitting in cash, right? Like they're just paying their bills, but it's sitting there in cash. Like they should be investing that in or a portion, 5%, 10% into Bitcoin, which is going to
right.
appreciate. The U.S. dollar, what I tell people is like they say inflation's 2 or 3%, but we know it's really like 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
So you're losing money every year.
Right, you're losing money, and then people that don't understand, like you might get a raise that's 3,000, but that's based off an inflation that was 3%. It
Right.
hasn't been that for years because the amount of money that they're dumping into the system just pumps up inflation.
Exactly.
But that's what makes what you said before. That's what makes Bitcoin such a powerful asset because it traces inflation better than the dollar does, at least
Yeah.
at current day. But yeah, you got to be able to stomach the fact that how long ago was it where it was 120 and it's literally half that now. I got it on my phone right here.
Yeah. It
I
was
got three. I
120
got
like
VOO.
three
I got
months.
Bitcoin. Yeah, it's at 69,000 right now.
Yeah. It's just, it was, I mean, what, 3 months ago, it was 120. So if you're buying there, I mean, that was the time to sell. I'm not a trader anymore. Like, I just don't think I could. I do some like with stocks, but not, yeah. But Bitcoin is my like, just hold on to, like, that's my house. Like, but real estate's good too. It's just that Bitcoin has a lot of advantages over stuff. I think the one part that people can't really wrap their heads around is that it's not tangible. And we're so used to like tangible, like actual dollars. But what a lot of people fail to realize is like, well, people know, but like dollars could just be printed out of thin air because the government says we're injecting,
Yeah,
a few trillion dollars because we need to pay debt, right? And then the problem with stocks, which I think stocks are great, like certain ones could beat inflation, but again, like if a company does well, what do? They issue more shares to raise more money.
yeah,
And then gold and silver is good too. That's probably your second best, I would say. But like the issue with that is you can't just what are you gonna do? Barter with somebody with a gold coin or like shave off some gold off your like bracelet? Like you can't really trade it. You
yeah.
can't send $1 billion, like if you're like a company and
Mm,
you want to trade, you have gold, you can't send it across like I say, you can't send from US to China in seconds. With Bitcoin you can
mm.
for a few pennies or a dollar, like so that's kind of the advantages. So I say dental offices should accept Bitcoin because you could just swipe it on your phone, or scan it. But more
Yeah.
importantly, like if you have extra cash in your account, you should invest a small portion into it.
Hmm.
So
I'm 100% in agreement. I do a little bit into Bitcoin and a little bit into the stock VOO. It's just an
right.
ETF index fund for the S&P. Do you do like a monthly recurring or a bi-monthly recurring buy, or do you put everything into account, wait for a drop in the market like right now, and then dump it into Bitcoin? Because I know there are two strategies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more towards the first one. There was a time I was doing like a daily buy. I just set it up and it was doing it. But I'm just like, I'm looking for like some dips, but I'm also buying high sometimes too because I don't really know which way it's going to go, you know.
Right.
But I try to not buy like a day where it's up a lot. You know it's going to drop back down, and the days where it's tanking, you know it's going to go back up. It's just I haven't been good at. I'm not good at timing. Nobody could like time it exactly, but some people are more savvy. But for me, I'm just like, if I'm holding it for 10 years, does it matter if I buy it at 69,000 or 80,000 or 90,000? It doesn't really matter in 10 years. I just feel
Exactly.
like the way inflation's just running away from us at this point, it's so
Mm.
obvious. Like it's got to go up because it's capped, you know.
Yeah, and everything has been going up for the most part. Yeah, it's just on a little dip right now. These are the sweet
Yeah,
spots of buying Bitcoin. It literally is right now. Anyone listening to this
yeah,
right now,
yeah. Buy
it's
Bitcoin.
it's at 69 right now. I see it 68 $973 after that. This is the sweet spot, man. But yeah. So you're in Bitcoin. Do you do Ethereum too, or just
I have some Ethereum and Solana mostly, and a few other like little things. But what I realized was like buying these other like coins, like they never really panned out for the most part.
Mm,
So, but Bitcoin's like if the one I say like if I just put all my money in Bitcoin, it's kind of like with stocks, like playing with penny stocks. If I
mm,
just put all my money in Apple, I would have been better off. So I just see Bitcoin as like the apex,
yeah,
cryptocurrency. Other people think Ethereum is, or they think there's certain other ones like XRP. And I do have some of those just in case they go up like 10 times. But I mean, the safest, I don't think at this point Bitcoin's going to like make you rich because I'm not like some other people think, oh, it's going to be a million in 2, 3 years. Like, I don't believe that, but it's going to steadily go up. It has to because it's capped at 21 million. So, and they say like quantum computing, that's like the new thing that they're saying. But don't you think if like there's a computer, like a supercomputer strong enough to break the whole code of Bitcoin, which is running on servers around the world, they're gonna figure out how to upgrade the servers to
yeah.
like fight against that? Like so like that's just my opinion. But there's a lot of people who still don't really I feel like once you understand Bitcoin, you start buying it.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
don't
Everyone
fully
does.
understand it, it's easy to talk crap about it.
That's also true. That's also, and then the talk is just it's
Yeah.
situated on no, it's on a stand foundation. But yeah, I'm a big believer in Bitcoin. I like exactly what you said, and I don't think it's going to be at a million in 2 or 3 years. I think we're looking at more like 2035, 2040, probably. It could be longer than that. I think we have at least another 10 years before it's a million. Because if you look at the 4 year cycles and stuff,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I don't buy Ethereum. I like Doge just in case, because like you
Just
gotta
in
have those
case.
just in case.
Just in case might go to nothing, but like just in case it goes up 100 times next year.
Yeah, you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Got a hedge here. Yeah. But that's awesome that you're into that. Like that was great. Like when we
Me
met.
too, man.
Yeah.
It was so great that we got to connect on that topic. I was glad that we were like, okay, we're gonna talk about this on the podcast, that on the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's nice to get all of us in the dental community together on Long Island, because that's something
Yeah.
that I've always thought about. Like I don't know, I'm a big fan of like the team atmosphere, teamwork, and Long Island. A lot of people are moving off Long Island, so it's nice to see someone young and in our age group. You coming back here and as an
Yeah.
owner on Long Island, like I can only name, I think, 2 or 3 dental practice owners that are in our age group on Long Island right now,
Really. Yeah. I
which is
don't know a lot of
pretty
dentists.
crazy.
Yeah. I'd like to like go to more. Maybe I should join like Suffolk or Nassau Dental.
You want to do that? You want to join Suffolk? I've actually been wanting to do that.
Yeah. Just to meet people, like something social. I need more like social events.
Yeah, right. Like I
Busy
want to
with
know who's in the area. Who can we like work with? Who can we
Yeah. Man.
collaborate cases with and stuff? Actually, let's look into that. I'd appreciate that. We could
And
go to some of those events together. I gotta figure out when they are.
I'm down. And definitely a Bitcoin dental group too.
Oh yeah,
Or crypto.
yeah. I know. I
They're out there.
Your friend that you said you talked about with crypto. Are they also in dentistry as well?
The friend that I first got involved with it, no, he's in sales.
Sales. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not in
That
dentistry.
that would have been funny if they also went
Yeah,
into dentistry.
yeah,
All right, man. Hey, this was a good chat. We're on almost an hour now,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I know you had to wait like a couple months. I'm sorry. I just had to finish up that exam, which was literally
How did your boards go? Yeah,
1 week ago today. It was it's hard to read them. The examiners, they keep a straight face.
yeah.
Whatever you answer, no matter what, they're like, I understand, and they keep moving forward. And it's like, all right, I have no idea what's going, on, like how I'm doing.
So
But yeah, thanks
it's
for
not a
asking.
written test.
The written one was last year. That's like part one, and then this is part two, and it's all verbal. They just fire questions at you across the table, and you're
Yeah,
like, but yeah, man. So all right, dude. Hey, we'll chat. We'll chat
yeah,
soon. Yeah, let's look into the Suffolk meetings. I would like
definitely.
to go to those with
Yeah,
you.
looking forward to seeing you again. We'll do a dinner sometime soon.
Yeah, man. All right,
All
we'll
right,
talk soon.
all right. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Good night.